Now.
Okay. All right.
Okay, great. So welcome everybody. We're going to just take the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes to maybe go around since it's small group. Let's just continue introducing yourself and letting us know. Are you calling yourself a holistic agent or a wellness agent, or are you already marketing yourself that way? Let us know. So let's go to Diana.
Hi.
Hi, Diana.
Hi,
Hi.
welcome.
Oops. I did not realize this wasn't going to be more like a webinar. So,
That's okay.
pardon me.
Yeah, no, you're good.
All right. Well, listen, I'm not quite sure. What did you say to introduce ourselves, right?
Yeah, just where are you from? Are you an agent and are you like
Okay.
marketing yourself as a wellness agent?
Okay. My name's Diana Alpini. I'm from Pennsylvania. The pretty much the southeast side of Pennsylvania in Reading, outside of Reading, just outside of Reading, close to Philadelphia. Okay.
Oh,
I a couple of years ago I got my green designation. I've been an agent for close to 14 years. Aspired always to get my green designation. I did get my green designation, and it was that same year I had gotten really sick, and after making all kinds of changes with the type of heating I have, gas heating unit, and getting rid of the water heater and all of that, I finally had a radon test done, and my radon came back like unbelievably high. It was like a 47, a level 47 over a 48 period of time,
oh my.
and I just started blasting myself as a green realtor, and but that's been my inspiration and my motivation is for people to heal and avoid serious health problems in any way, shape, or form, whether it's mold or whatever. And Sheila, I came where's Sheila? I took
Oh, right
off my
here.
glasses.
Yeah, there's
Oh, there
Sheila.
you are. Sheila, I came upon you probably maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and just quietly aspired that yes, like I might want to use your marketing tools and like really start putting. You just offer so much, and I haven't. I have
Oh, good.
I ended up getting really super sick and did not have great sales. So that being said, I'm here just to hear more about you and all of you and how you all are making this work for you. So
Oh, good. Well,
I don't
welcome,
know. Did I
Diana.
say too much?
No,
I'm
we're so
sorry.
glad. We're so glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk to Tracy. Are you there, Tracy?
Yes, I'm. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you
Okay.
good.
Hey, Leonard Steinberg sends out a daily email to all the Compass agents every day. So, maybe 2 years ago, was it?
Mhm.
He sent out an email about you. And so, while I'm not green certified or, per- you know, doing healthy living right now, it's very fascinating to me. It intrigues me. And then a year ago, Jude Williams, colleague of mine and friend, gets sick all the time, and she um, does this healthy living stuff. So as I'm aging, I'm wondering if I want to get into like a niche, and this might be a good niche to get into. So I'm in the Houston, Texas suburbs. And again, my name is Tracy Riley, and I work for Compass.
Great. Well, welcome.
That's
So,
great.
did everybody get a chance to say
There's
hello?
Jennifer and Miriam. Jennifer's my sister, so go for
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Jen Gates. I'm in North Alabama. I think I am the only Alabamian realtor that is more like holistic minded, I think. So yeah. So
That's
yeah, and
amazing.
I've been in the business for 5 years, and of course Tori, she's my big sister. She's always been an inspiration to me. So, and I've been like holistic, healthy living ever since I had a 2-year old back in 2007 that was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease. So it just kind of went from there, and I'm a healthy home advocate, healthy wellness advocate. So it kind of makes sense. And so I have the tools and I'm always asking my sister, hey, how are you doing this? And, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have such a resource always on hand, like my sister. So
For sure. That's so amazing. Well, welcome. So glad you're here. Okay, and then Sherry Riley just joined us too, and she's from Florida. Welcome, Sherry. We're
There.
just introducing ourselves and talking and saying whether we are promoting ourselves as holistic or wellness agents at the right now. Can you hear us, Sherry?
I can.
Oh, yay. Welcome.
Hey there.
Hey, getting set up here.
Okay. So Sherry's a luxury agent in St. Pete, Florida. I already know who she is. But I'm not, I don't know if are you promoting yourself as a wellness agent too, or just sticking with the luxury?
Hang tight. Here we go. Why am I not coming up? Here we go. I'm doing something I haven't done before, which is sadly, I've got another one. I've got another Zoom on,
Oh,
and I don't normally do that. It's just something it's a new software that we're testing with the company. So I told them I'd do it. You know what? I can't say that it's as I'm sitting here, this is my focus. We're Baker Creek seeds, if anybody's familiar with that. It's time to switch out my beds. So I've been in the garden this morning.
yay.
Um, I fold, I've woven it in, but I just was finding that I was not getting the play. People will say that to me. They say, oh, because of my content and everything, but they're still asking me about the basics. It's sort of like it's sort of like an also, it's not my primary focus. So I want to see how I know that you've done such a great job, Tori, that I'm curious to see how you've managed to make that like your sole focus, or at least you've led with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to.
So before I forget about this too, I want to mention that Tori's got this Google form. I'm going to put it in the chat. So while we're listening, if you want to go in there and fill out the form, she has a private Facebook group. And so if you want to be a part of that, it's really for agents who do want to promote themselves as holistic agents, because there's so many other referral groups out there and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if you want to fill it out, then she'll have your information. And I think it asked the question if you're already a member or not of her Facebook group. So, and then we had someone else just join. Daniel, welcome. I don't know if you
Very
are
own.
able to say hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hi everyone.
Hey,
Hi.
Daniel.
We just want to know where you're from and if you are a realtor, are you promoting yourself as a holistic or wellness agent or not?
Yeah, I compartmentalize the niches I'm in.
Yeah.
I guess one of my concerns is if I claim too much to be holistic. I know some agents, if there's a multiple offer situation, they might research me. So I'm kind of concerned about mold, EMF, 7 different inspections. I'm afraid of if there's a multiple offer situation and it is like their dream home, if I am too out there and too outspoken, I'm concerned that I could interrupt someone of like I always put my client's interests first. I'm afraid of it. So I still niche myself,
Mhm.
but I'm like so concerned about I don't know. I don't know how to do this because it's like I want to be outspoken to like push the needle, but I also want to protect my clients' interests. And I've been kicked off of 2 of the main mold groups recently that I got my last 4 clients from. This is like the last week. So I'm also concerned that my 2 funnel systems have been removed. Uh, and I'm
Oh.
going to follow what you do with the magazines. And I would like to start messaging practitioners because I'm friends with a mold dog here in Dallas, and that's how they get most of their, other than social media, they
Mhm.
do a lot business to business. Sorry, this is too long. But yes, I do holistic
No.
real estate in
No,
Dallas.
you're good. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but those are my concerns too, just so put it out there.
Okay, okay.
No
Well,
big-
all right, so it's already 10 after, so anybody who else joins, we'll just get to your guys' questions afterwards. So why don't I share my screen so we can kind of make sure I'm not, okay, can everybody see?
Mhm.
Great. Okay, so welcome to today's live Q&A with Tori McGee. I'm excited because she did 19 million in sales last year by herself without a team. So she's closing about 4 or 5 homes a month. And I don't know what the average price you're selling. Is it 600,000,
It
Tori?
depends. I did a lot that was around 350 to even
Okay.
425 in December. So, I mean, it just,
Yeah.
yeah, it depends. It depends on a few things.
Well, that's a lot of homes. So
Yeah, it
that's
was.
my point. And
Yeah.
she does a lot of that with through holistic, being a holistic realtor, she gets people that are coming to her and she's talking about healthy homes. And so I'm just excited to have her here to share kind of what she's doing and the messaging that she's doing so that you can kind of do the same and help your business out. So I put in the chat a Google form for those of you, if you want to be a part of her Facebook group, fill that out. And let's go to the next page. So what you can expect on the call today is we're going to talk about how to attract and convert regular and wellness conscious clients, how to build credibility and authority as a holistic or wellness focused realtor. We're going to have a special opportunity at the end to how you can work directly with Tori, and then we'll have the live Q&A at the very end where you're going to get your questions answered. So it could take up to maybe 2 hours if we are on the call, if we have a lot of questions. So just wanted to let you know that. And then for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sheila Alston. I'm the founder of Healthy Home Media. I was an agent just like you, and I just found it very difficult to stand out and get noticed and have conversations about real estate that weren't salesy or cringy. And so and I also have a background as a certified health coach. And so I was like, how can I bring health and home together? And I found wellness real estate. And so I created this RE magazine, which is about wellness real estate. It celebrates what's happening in the industry and also teaches readers how to create a healthy home environment. So I thought, oh my gosh, more realtors should be talking about this and sharing this with people just to have authentic connection and lead with care. So since then, we've grown to have Well Life magazine, and I have a Well Life podcast and YouTube channel. And then I'm creating this new community website called Hometown Heroes that I'll share a little bit with you at the end that I'm super excited about. So, and then today we're going to talk with Tori McGee, and she just gave me this really great testimonial yesterday that speaks to kind of how she's helping people. And I won't read the whole thing because it's really long, but I just wanted to share this. She posted this in a mold group too. She didn't even tell Tori that she was doing this, but she said, this woman worked her butt off to get my home sold. She listened to us. She really listened. She had heard our story too many times to count. She connected with me, many resources and holistic professionals in our area to save me the research of who's actually mold literate. She drove over an hour back and forth to show us houses, get mold inspectors to our new home, etc. She fought tooth and nail with every builder who tried to shut us down about our worries of potential mold. This agent is pure gold, truly one in a million. She gets paid the same as any real estate agent and gives her absolute all plus some to help desperate families looking for healing. She's the one person I can say is passionate about helping families like us. And I just wanted to give her a shout out to anyone who's looking at Atlanta to give her a call. She was a saving grace. I mean, can you imagine if you had a testimonial like that?
That's great.
I mean,
That's great.
isn't that amazing?
That
And
is.
there are so many people that have chronic conditions, chronic disease, that
Mhm.
don't realize that the home environment is hurting them or could be helping them. So that's awesome. And it's like free, basically free press for yourself, right? Okay, so now we're gonna just hop into the live Q&A, and I want to start by asking Tori, welcome, and what inspired you to focus on wellness real estate, and how has it transformed your business?
So that's such a good question. I got into it by accident. We wanted to buy a house, and the realtor we had worked with before, as you guys have probably in the past, really wasn't, the best, asking questions they didn't understand, just simple wellness, just simple wellness questions about a house. Well, so I got into it to help us, and my daughter has ADHD, and my husband had chemical sensitivity. And so the other realtor just didn't really even, it was just simple questions about power lines or, moisture in the home and stuff like that. And they look at you like you got a third eye, right? So I was like, well, let me get my license just to help us out. And then the next thing I knew, people started, reaching out to me, neighbors, a lot of my mama groups, and and everybody's known me as like, a crunchy mom for years because, had started my journey back in 2000, living a very holistic lifestyle. And when I got into real estate, a lot of the crunchy mom groups that I'm in just kind of gravitated towards me. And then, it just, I was slow at business. First year might have been like 3 million. And then it just kept on and on and on. And then it just kept growing. And then I found you and with your help me with my branding and stuff. So it took life, right? Because our branding is so important and how we do that. So, but that's how I got started, was just average mom like everybody else, and it just kind of took off.
That's great. So
Yeah.
then how did you start positioning yourself as a holistic realtor and when did you start calling yourself that and how did you feel like it was starting to attract those clients to you?
So it was a few years in. I never really would call myself holistic, but I would, always talk to the clients. I would always do the mold inspections, and I never really put a name with it or anything like that. I was just kind of going along business. And then close to 2020, probably 2019, I got my license in 2015. So this is my 10-year anniversary. I would say probably 2019 is when I really started elevating and being more bold and really, putting more of a label on it. But I didn't have the branding. I didn't have the logo and the mag. I didn't have all of that. And I cannot put together any kind of graphic design. Like, I am the worst. So I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. So finding you and finding, kind of my niche with how I wanted to say it, finding building biology, that was huge. I'm like, well, if I'm going to do this, I need to have some certifications and I need to have, experience, and I need to have, some knowledge of what I'm saying. And so that's when, I went and got my certification in building biology, just to kind of have that, have that information, because I don't ever want my client to know more than me.
Yeah, that is really important. So I mean, do you feel like everybody who wants to be a wellness focused real estate agent needs to go get some certain certifications or
I do feel like you need to have something that is, going to, you want to have some sort of, and this is a brand that you almost have to live the lifestyle. I was telling a girl the other day, you want to kind of attract the people, because I make sourdough bread, make kombucha. I'm really holistic and crunchy, whatever you want to call it, and I could work with somebody that, isn't, which is fine. But if I'm eating McDonald's and I'm, not living a healthy lifestyle, and my client comes to me wanting to talk about wellness homes and, like, what do you do during a tour, and stuff like that. So you kind of want to equal out the person you're working with. You want to have, information for them.
well, yeah, and I do feel like you are involved in a lot of community
Mhm.
events. So just if you're living that a lifestyle and you are part of these groups that are, crunchy as you call them, then
Yeah.
you're connecting with those people. So you want
Yes.
to be authentic, of course, in any group that you're
Yeah.
joining. But I
Mhm.
feel like wellness is also a spectrum.
It is.
There's
Mhm.
still going to be people who are maybe suffering from sensitivities that aren't super sustainable minded or so it doesn't mean that you have to be extreme in any way. I just
You
think,
don't,
yeah,
and
you
you can
just need to
scare
be
people
authentic.
off. And you can,
Yeah.
like Daniel was saying, you can scare people off as well.
Mhm.
So you've got to kind of have your fitting on when you're working with somebody. Because an example, real quick, I had this super holistic girl, a friend of mine that's referred people to me. She referred a very close family member, and there was a 5G tower, like right around the corner. She's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
they wear their smart watches," and I'm like, "Okay." So you kind of have to, you have to kind of, get to
They might
understand.
not even know, right? Like,
Yeah,
and there's a little bit of some people can be
yeah,
like they don't want to be you don't want to be fear mongering either where people
exactly.
are then afraid to live anywhere.
Yes.
So it's kind of a balance you have to take with just understanding that
Yes,
it's awareness and that there are tools and other professionals that you're going to be connecting with that can help someone gauge whether or not it's affecting
right.
them or not, but just so
And
that
I
they
didn't
know.
alarm them to the 5G tower.
Mhm.
I said, look, I don't know, what your concerns are with 5G, but I wanted to let you know if you look around the corner, there's a 5G tower. Wanted you to be aware about that. What are your thoughts? Do you want me to? And they're like, oh no, we're good with that. So so that's
Mhm.
always something to think about as well. Because I've got super people that are like, no, if I even a mile back, if I saw a 5G tower, don't even, I don't even want to look at a house. So I'm like, okay. So you want to have conversations, right, with
Right.
buyers
And
beforehand.
you can't just assume that everybody is thinking the same way, right? So I love that you're asking questions. So really, I think let's get to the nitty gritty and tell me like what are you saying to people? Let's just say that you meet somebody that's
Mhm.
maybe at a group setting that that you don't know, and how do you bring this up and how do you talk about it with people?
Yeah, let's say, so if I'm going out with some people or whatever and I'm talking, I would just say, hey, I'm a realtor, I'm more holistic minded, holistic realtor, wellness realtor. I'm certified in building biology, and your child has PANS, or like I'll bring up a conversation like, oh my goodness, have you thought that could be mold in your home, or have you had that checked out, or I'll bring that up, and they're like, oh really? And then it just kind of becomes a very natural, organic conversation about
Mhm.
health and wellness. Do you use chemicals in your home? Do you use plugins? And I just start out a little environmentally, I'll talk, maybe something simple, and then I'll go in deeper, depending on how they want the conversation to go. But I always bring wellness into it because it is, I would say 98% of my clientele is because they come to me because of past sickness, mold, chemical sensitivity, children with autism, PANS, cancer survivors, all of that. I mean, I get everybody. So yeah.
Wow. And it's probably because they don't have anybody to turn to, right?
Well, and a lot of realtors in the area, and I'm sure all of you have them as well. I mean, and that's why I wanted this group to have a special referral system, because I can go into a million, we can all go into a million real estate groups right now, and I can't really refer them out because they're not going to give this level of environmental wellness concern like you guys are. You
Mhm.
guys have
Mhm.
We all found each other for a reason, and I'm so excited to have everybody because I feel like I'm not by myself. I have all of you, and there's probably more out there that, we can help each other.
Right. So then what, besides getting maybe just some knowledge and education on building biology and understanding mold at a deeper level, what other specific tools or resources or education do you recommend agents go if they're thinking of talking about wellness real estate and branding
If
themselves like that?
I know there's a lot that are really into the mold, and it wouldn't hurt to, get some mold certifications if that's where you want your business and your branding to go, right? If you want to have have that, because I know there's a couple in here. I think Tammy, I don't know if she's on here. She's like a mold certification, but and it just depends on, like, we have the green designation. Is that where you kind of want to, more on the, the green, or
Indoor
you
air quality and water quality.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
just going to the mold though, I do feel like there's a lot of agents that when you want to get to a successful closing and you don't want to have
Yes.
any roadblocks, and mold
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of people feels like that's a roadblock. So what do you say to those agents?
It is definitely not a mold, that it's a must. Like, I mean, when I couldn't imagine having a client close, because I get calls, probably I get 4 or 5 emails a month saying, hey, closed with this realtor. She was new. She was a friend of mine that got her license. I just decided to rip up our bathroom floor, and we've got, black mold all underneath there. What do I do now? And it's like, oh my goodness, I wish I would
Mhm.
have talked to you a month ago during your due diligence. There's ways around that. So, I mean, it really is. You really want to have radon testing. I have mold testing. I have a home inspection, and sometimes I'll even get my roofer out there. A lot of times I'll get my roofer out. sometimes even a plumber out,
Mhm.
during our due diligence period, to just double check things. Maybe my client wants a whole house water filtration system. I'll say, oh, well, let's get that plumber out there and give you a quote. And let's see if we can put it next to your hot water heater. So I try to give them everything that they have. So on closing day, they feel comfortable. They feel good.
Mhm.
They've got their quotes. They've got everything that they need and they feel good about their house.
Well, okay, so I would imagine how this could be perfect for a buyer because you're doing above and beyond what a buyer needs. But what about a seller? Like
Yeah,
you want to get listings as an agent, right, to
yeah,
grow your business. So how do
absolutely.
you get a listing for a home that maybe maybe they haven't maintained it very well. How do
Right.
you be a holistic agent and still get that listing?
Super easy. So I do have a listing book that I like to give to all of my sellers when I go to their house. And I get this question all the time. If I've remediated mold, do I have to disclose that? The answer is yes. You want to disclose that and put in there what did you do? And that's just, a huge talk in the whole wellness and, all of that. So you do want to disclose, you want to tell your people if you've had a past leak, we need to put that in there. We don't want anything to come back to you. Be
Mhm.
honest, put it in there. Um, and and I talk to people too and say, look, when I'm coming into a home, I would tell them remove your plugins, remove air fresheners. If you've got cleaning products in your house that are not green, let's say they're Clorox and bleach and your whatever else you can get, Lysol, put those in a box and put them out in the garage. Don't have them in the home because even candles, I've had clients walk into a home with a burning candle and his eye was like shut closed because he was having an allergic reaction to the candle. And
Yeah.
that could be anyway. So, and I walk around and walk around with a flashlight. Let's look for past water leaks. Let's look on your ceiling. Let's look under all your sinks. And I have conversations about how is the flow to water towards your house? Do you need to do pine straw? Do we need to do some grading? How's that water? Do you have a basement? So I just have conversations with them and I fill them out on all of that, but I prepare them on what wellness people and with people are looking like for a healthy home.
Right. Well, because I feel like the disconnect now is that they don't really know the connection between health and home yet. So
And
as
they're
a
not
wellness focused
educated.
agent, right, it's your
Agents are
job
not
to
educating
educate.
them.
Exactly.
It's our job to educate them on how to create a healthy home. And that's exactly the reason. And that's been
Well,
our fault.
so what do you I remember talking to some agents before that have some maybe they're a health coach or they have some health background and
Mhm.
they got really confused with being the expert on the healthy living and being the real estate expert, and I needed to remind them, like, you're the real estate expert. You want to
Right.
network with professionals who are the health experts. And so
Right.
you're gaining that knowledge from the health experts. So of course you can talk about it. But at the end of the day, your broker's not going to want you to be more than the real estate
Right.
expert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Like, I know that you have your building biology, but do
Yeah.
you still have a lot of resources that you are going to connect people with?
Oh, absolutely. Like I'll connect them. If I'm doing a listing presentation and, it could be that we need to have a plumber come out and take a look at something before we list the house.
Mhm.
You really want to, set your seller up and make sure the house is healthy and safe. You don't want to, if you've known they've had a past mold or water or something like that, you want to have a conversation with them. And I know a lot of them are trying to get out of their homes to get a healthy home, but you still just have to disclose it. You want, just disclose it. And you'll be surprised on how many people will come to you and not even care that somebody had a past, busted pipe, and I mean, oh, it was fixed. Okay, great. Well, we'll put an offer in. So, you can't force people, buyers or sellers, to do mold inspections, to do radon inspections. I offer it and I encourage it. And I say, I think it's, for your best interest to spend a little bit extra money and get this done. And, if somebody tells me no, then okay, great.
Well,
I'll
it's a
get it.
little bit like doing your inspection before you list it, right? If you're
Yeah,
in a if
yeah,
you're in a seller's market,
right. But go
Agents
back
might
to
not
what
want to, or
Daniel,
people might not want to do that in a seller's market, but in a buyer's market, certainly it's putting your best
yeah,
foot forward, right? And showing your cards a little bit so people can feel like,
yeah,
oh, I'll give you that better offer because I already know what's in the
yeah.
house.
And like Daniel was saying though, and I get that, like, people worried about, oh, we're going to be this crazy realtor is going to have 100 different mold inspections out there, which we probably will, but we don't need to tell the agent that.
Mhm.
And I just, and some people know me and some people don't know me, but our job is to get, the client the best, like you said, work for them, get them the best deal and the best. Don't waive inspections, which I know we probably didn't, but I know back in 2021, I know agents that were, waiving inspections, and my buyers are all good with me having that conversation. If we're in a multiple offer situation, I can get it lowered, maybe 4 to 5 days. We might can push everybody out, on that for, have it everything back by 4 days. But just stick to your guns, because your reputation and you standing firm with helping that client, we might lose a few here and there down the road, but in the long run, your branding and your business is what you want to do. You don't want to, hurt that and say, "Whoa, well they're just saying their wellness, but they're not over there because they did this for me or
Mhm.
didn't do this for me." So try to stay consistent.
Mhm. Right. It's about really serving your client and knowing that if this house isn't going to work out, there's going to be the right one that's
Right.
for them. You just haven't found it yet. And
Exactly.
to be patient about that because your reputation is
Mhm.
growing the more you're putting your
Yeah.
clients first, right? And of course, every agent wants to put their clients first. And but I do you think that if you're going to focus on being a wellness agent or holistic agent, that you really want to be working with clients that have all these sensitivities
That's
or
that's who comes to me, and they yeah,
yeah.
they love me because I hear them and I understand what they're going through. And then I've got a couple of them that are not, and it's okay. And
Yeah.
I'll give them suggestions, like the girl with the 5G tower or whatever. Anybody else would have said no, don't even show it to me.
Mhm.
But majority of my clients do, and because that's what I love, because nobody else, really will service them because they don't get them, and they
Mhm.
come to me sometimes in tears, like, oh my gosh, nobody gets me, but you're actually going to sit and listen to me, and you're going to take a flashlight during our showing, and you've got your your EMF meter, you got your dehumidifier with you, or a little monitor on the humidity level. And I've got some tools, that I carry with me in the car in case, I see
Mhm.
something that, could be a red flag. And not that I'm diagnosing, I'm not an inspector, but I'm going to say, we might want to keep an eye on this area in case you do put an offer on this house. So we can let the inspectors know that this looks a little funky and we need to investigate this to see, could it be mold?
Right. So what do you do to ease their mind? What if they say, "Oh my gosh, this is a historic home and I love it, but now I'm scared because you just pointed out the mold and oh my gosh." So what do you say?
Don't be scared of it. If you love this home and you want to put an offer in, let's go for it. Let's fight. Let's get you the house, and we'll worry about the inspections, and we're going to worry about everything then, because we might have some room to negotiate. If you still love the house, let's find out what it is first. But I just wanted to, that crack in the wall might
Mhm.
be a settlement crack, or we might have to get an engineer out to take a look at it. But it is something, I want you to be aware of during the showing. Because I don't want people to be like, well, we didn't see that, or whatever. So
Mhm.
I'll bring up things during the showing that I could see that, let's keep that in the back of our mind that we want to address this during the inspection, or bring somebody else in special to take a look at that during our due diligence.
Okay, so let's talk about if you're doing a showing, what do you keep in that kit of yours? That's like,
Yeah.
that goes above and beyond what traditional agents
Yeah.
have.
So I have infrared camera, and I have let me think about this. My EMF meter, I have my have a little measuring, electric measuring. I have dirty electricity meter from Green Wave. and it's a little filter too, so you can test it. You plug the filter in, and it can tell you how it goes from 300. You want it down to 50. And I also have another little camera that's got like a little, it's got a little camera on it. It's very thin, so I can peek into the like your HVAC
Uh-huh.
event, so I can go in there if you know see if I need to see something that's on a camera. And I did get a few other things that was stolen from me. My car was broken into, so I'm trying to recoup, some of my tools and stuff that I had. But that's it. A good flashlight. I every home I go into, I have a flashlight, and I'm looking up, I'm looking down, I'm looking in the closets, I'm looking everywhere, underneath all the sinks. I'm outside looking for stuff just to let them look at the floor plan, let them look at the house. And then they ask me, well, what is your opinion, Tori? And I'll say, oh, I really like it. I did find a couple little things, maybe some rotten wood here or there. I don't think it's anything to be crazy about, but I want us to keep an eye on it. I'm not
Right.
the person, what you don't want to do is be this alarm, dramatic, oh my gosh, this house could have mold. You want to be
Yeah.
calm and stay, you know what? You've had a mold exposure. You're coming from a sick home. This could potentially cause a problem. I don't know if you want to move forward with an offer or not, but this is what this looks like, or this, this is just take a look at this. And I usually let them decide. Once I show it to them, let them
Right.
decide if they want to move forward or not. It's not my decision. It's me showing them and let them move forward or not.
Well, is it true that all things can be remediated?
Well, that's a good question.
A lot of
Um,
things can be.
yeah, I mean, I had a girl from Huntington Beach. She had black mold in this home in 2018 that came in through the chimney down to her basement. And I was like, girl, I mean, she was a friend of mine. I was like, I
Mhm.
could tell her, I was like, I don't know about this. This is black stacky botches.
Mhm.
This is not good at all. She's like, but it's a lake house, Tori, and I'm moving from Huntington Beach, California, and I really want this house. And I was like, I don't know. I said, "Okay, are you sure?" She's like, "I'm sure." So we did. They came in and we took all the drywall out. They scrubbed, cleaned, and did it. And every year she tests. Every year she does her ERMI, all these testing, and she's been fine. So who knows? I mean, some people say no, it can't be, and then some people are like, well, maybe. And I just think everybody's different, and you kind of have to let that buyer know, because if you have somebody coming from a sick home, they would probably say no. She's a
Mhm.
very healthy family. They've never had any
Mhm.
issues, so it didn't bother
Yeah.
her family.
Yeah. Well, I talked to Jason Earl, who's the founder of Got Mold,
Mhm.
and he was saying, mold is not something to be scared of. It's just there's mold everywhere and we need mold spurs. It's just
Yeah.
these certain mold spurs that have a high elevation in where you're living. And then depending on your level of sensitivity, you know what I mean? That's so I love that you're just being aware. But what do you do? Your client that just left you that big testimonial. So her home was making her sick and then you sold her home. So how do you do that as a holistic realtor?
Yep. She came to me and said, we spent $25,000 on remediations, Tori. We are still sick. And, we bought a flip and we're just sick. And I said, well, let's have this conversation. We're going to go ahead and we're going to disclose the remediations that you've done. And I want you to find a home. They wanted a new construction. I said, well, the only way we should do that is if we haven't drywalled yet. I want to see what that wood looks like before we drywall. And she agreed. We found a house that had been framed. So we did every step of the way. We actually did like a vapor barrier in the bathroom floors to make sure the water didn't, if there was ever a leak or something, it didn't come down to the next level from the shower. Her husband was a plumber, so we had a little bit extra, help there. Being a plumber, he could go in and do some extra things that, other people wouldn't be able to do. And I got to oversee it every step of the way. The basement did get humid, and I fought hard, hard, hard to try to get a dehumidifier put in. So there's things that you can do, and she is so happy and she's feeling amazing right now. So we did new construction, but I did it to where I could see it. Unfortunately, I sometimes don't trust a lot of new construction that you can't see behind the walls.
Mhm. But then what about when you sold her house to the new person and they know you're a holistic agent? It's
They
been
could care
remediated.
less. They could care
Yep.
less. They didn't
Okay.
care. They were like, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
as long as you disclose that
yeah,
it's been remediated and they had a leak before, then you're good.
it's unbelievable how many people don't care.
Yeah. That's
We
funny.
disclose it. We told them, this is what we did. This is exactly what happened, and this is what she did. She put the phone numbers, gave them everything, and they didn't. It didn't even blink an eye. I mean, it's just you want to protect your client, you want to protect
Hmm.
your seller, and disclose so nothing comes back to them.
Hmm.
And you might lose a couple buyers here and there, yes, but know,
Well, I
yeah,
do think though by disclosing it and by trying to present it as the healthiest home by getting out all those toxins things, you are making it more available to not just the traditional public, but this growing population of people who have sensitivities,
yeah.
right?
Right, right. And then that would prevent somebody maybe that, which is good because we disclosed and we talked about what we did. There was a water issue. Now, a family that comes there would not want to, that has had that's leaving a water issue, wouldn't want to look at the house and they'd move on to something else. So it just helps
Right,
everybody out and it saves time.
On
right, right.
Realtor.
What would you say are objections you get from people who don't understand what holistic real estate is or wellness real estate or even what a healthy home is? What are maybe the common objections you get?
Yeah, I get a couple of agents that'll say, "Yeah, I do the same thing as you," and I'll be, "Oh, great," and we'll work together, and then we'll start talking, and then she's like, thinks I have a third eye or something. She goes, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Well, I, I care about the environmental. This radon test came back a 10, so we really need to get this." Oh, really? Like they've lived there for 25 years. So I
yeah.
think a lot of that pushback is when you say wellness and you health and stuff like that, a lot of agents will say, "Oh, I do the same thing you do." But when you start
Mm-hmm.
talking to them, you're like, "Well, not necessarily, right?"
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to it. I mean, it's not there's a lot in this that, being wellness, but if you want to be specific and not be as branched out, with everything, you can, just have a green designation and you can, be more careful with that.
Yeah, I mean, what do you feel like is I mean, we've talked a lot about how you go above and beyond. Do you think that it's your education that is maybe
Building
sealing the deal with bringing
I,
people to you?
I think building biology is really
Mm,
what helped escalate it because I have, the certification to back it, I mean,
mm-hmm,
it's expensive and it takes time and it's a lot, but building biology is the holistic standard of homes. Like I mean, it really is, and it's the gold standard, and I love it, and I feel like it's given me more education too to help understand. And I can call, BS on some people too when they try to, come to you.
right.
You kind of are like, no, not really.
Well, because you're understanding how a home is built
Mhm.
and what goes into the building of a home that could be potential for
Mhm.
moisture and that sort of thing. Is that what building biology is?
Yeah,
Maybe for
it
those
is.
of you who don't understand what you get with a building biology
Yeah. So
certification, what is that?
yes. So there's a lot of different certifications in there. They have the electromagnetic, you've got the new construction, you've got building biology advocate. That's what I am, and I'm working towards a new construction. It's just going to take time, in getting that too. And I would, love to, even become a broker. That would be something to have, under your belt too, to kind of have that resource. But yeah, building biology, it helps you understand lighting and the EMF, the airflow, natural air, and just all of it,
Mhm,
moisture and how homes are created, and it's just the holistically on how the house should be.
mhm. But
Yeah,
for those people who are just getting started, you got started without that certification. So
absolutely.
you
Yep.
wouldn't, I don't want people to feel like they have a roadblock and they can't start talking about this stuff before they
Right.
do this and do this and do this. If someone
Yeah.
was just getting started and they're wanting to talk about this, what is a kind of conversation they could have if they don't have the certification?
I would say in your local market, find the best of the best. Look for local mold dogs. Look for credible mold companies. Can somebody come out during your due diligence and inspect the house, do cavity testing, not just your home inspector that's going to do an air quality test, because we all know that's not going to cut it with somebody that's
Mhm.
had it. Is an ERMI great? Are they expensive? Yeah. Is it an end all be all? No. I have some clients that was going to die if they didn't have that ERMI test. So every house we went into and put an offer in, we did 4 ERMIs. Never turned out good. They wound up buying land and building their own house.
Mm,
So you're going to have these clients that, are wanting a certain thing, and you just need to have the tools for them and help guide them along the way.
mhm,
So I would say just start slow, but get your vendors together. Make sure you have the best of the best in the area. Have a relationship, because that's where I did get a lot of my clients from doctors, all the naturopathic doctors, chiropractors.
mhm,
They all refer people to me. Oh, you think you have mold in your home? Call Tori. She'll take care
mhm,
of you. Boom. I mean, it's just get to know your wellness community, because that's
mhm,
where you'll get your referrals.
mhm. Is it just about mold? Do you think that's the most important thing, or do you think that
I
you can talk
for,
about
for,
some of these other
for
for
me
you?
and Georgia, it is. It's mold
Yeah.
is number one, EMF's number two, and then chemical sensitivity is down there. But mold is 100%, I think, when buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you really got to make sure of. I mean, nobody wants to buy a home. And then I got a call from a girl that was in the mold group. She bought a home in October. She's got a quote now for $30,000 because her realtor they didn't do any inspections. And now she's got to go in and remediate 30,000.
Mm. So it would have been great for her agent
Exactly.
to have been able to kind of help her guide her with that before she made the
And
offer.
negotiate and
Yeah,
negotiate that.
negotiate that.
Yeah,
Right, right.
absolutely. And then guess what? When you do your client good, they're going to go tell 10 people about you. And
Mm-hmm.
then I mean, it's about building your little local community core.
Right. But then even if there isn't mold, I know that there's so many other vendors out there that are professionals that have like your green queen. She does
Mhm.
like pest control that's
Yes.
green. So you're not
Yes.
having, I mean, if anybody has a neurological disorder, they should not
Yes.
be around herbicides or pesticides.
Absolutely. So find your local companies, find your green pest control companies. You were telling me about the orange oil for termite.
In California, there's orange oil for termites, so you don't have to completely tint your house. You could do
Yeah.
this, natural orange oil that has the
Yeah.
same efficacy.
So,
So much
yeah. So
healthier for you.
yeah, find that. Find your local communities. Where is there any non-toxic lawn control companies that you can
Mhm.
refer out, and you can say, hey, if anybody knows going to be selling their house and you're doing their lawn, tell them about me. So it's about getting out in the community and networking with the wellness people if that's where you want to focus all of your clients from.
Right. But I feel like that's also your marketing and your
Yeah.
lead generation, but it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that Joe down the street who
Yeah.
isn't wellness minded, you can't
Yeah.
help him. Would you
Right.
say that's true?
You can help anybody. And I get some investors that could care less. They're like, just give me the best deal. And I know all of us have that. I mean, we're gonna have those. They're like, I don't care about that. Just give me $40,000 off this house and I'm cash closing. I don't even want an inspection. So we're gonna
Mhm.
have those, and you
Mhm.
just gotta roll with it. You gotta listen to your
Mhm.
client. If that's what they want, do it.
Okay, so let's switch to your $19 million in sales this last year. So
Okay.
did you have to shift your mindset? What do you think, what happened? Like, what did you do different? What
Yeah.
was your sales the year before that, and what did you do differently?
I did 13 million the year before that. I think I was like at
Okay.
13 or 14 million. I mean, it was basically continuing and getting out there even a little bit more than what I had done before, getting
Mhm.
involved in more mold groups. And I did start Georgia Holistic Mom Group. I did start my own wellness local group. And that really has brought in a lot of moms too, and trying to, and it's only about local stuff in the area, about restaurants, farming.
Okay.
I also 2 years ago did create Non-Toxic Georgia, a
Hmm.
local Facebook group about local farms, about local grocery stores, where who's not spraying and where can we buy this stuff, this food, and what can we do? So I really started connecting up, and I just feel like, my branding, my website, I sent out more of the magazines. I did your calendars. This was my first year with your calendar. I sent it to everybody I know, because you think about that calendar, everybody will use a calendar, and they're going to see your face every month. You're going to be
Hmm.
reminded about, you
Well, and
know,
you have a tip on there. It's a healthy home calendar. So there's a
yeah,
little maintenance tip on there,
yeah,
and you even have some sponsors for some of the months
yes,
that it's your
yeah,
preferred partner. So I feel
hmm,
like it's a good
yeah.
branding, and it's nice quality, and then they can hang it as beautiful. So
Yes, yes, great. It really is. And I had a couple of vendors, a salt center, a chiropractor. I was
Mhm.
trying to get an esthetician, try to I mean, I'm going to do better this year. And then just
Mhm.
think every month you get somebody that can sponsor that month and they'll help you pay for it to send out if you
Mhm.
want to farm to a neighborhood or whatever you're trying to do. I love it. I love the calendars. My clients love the calendars. They're so excited because they can you make little notes on there and
Well,
it just
and I have an agent in Hawaii who literally, I got her Christmas card, and it was a Shutterfly Christmas card. And then she had like a little branded something, like a little giveaway thing inside the envelope. And she had a handwritten printed note with
oh,
pictures and stuff. And it was this big, heavy thing. And I said, "Oh my God, how much do you spend every year sending this to a
yeah,
thousand people?" Like she spends
right.
thousands, because by the
Yeah,
time you put that, and then the postage for everything. So why don't you
right.
send a calendar instead? Because the first two pages we can put your collage and your
Yes.
note, and then you can have somebody sponsor. So she did it this year, and she was so excited because it cost her a third of what she was spending,
Yes.
and it was
Right.
nicer, and
And people
anyways,
use
so
it all year
hmm
long,
hmm
they'll have it. They'll have you right there in the tip of their mind and you never know. You might have they might have friends come over and you get talking about real estate and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, you have to use our realtor. She was great," or he was amazing. He was
yeah.
on top of everything. He knows the local market. You got to give him a call.
Okay, so your website is Atlanta Holistic Realtor. How
Yes.
important do you think that is to people finding you organically?
100%. I send everybody over to my website because I've got everything. I didn't want to be your typical real estate agent. How much is my home worth? You can go to Zillow and you can pull that
Mhm.
a comp up or whatever. And I wanted it to be special. I wanted to have local my doctors, people who's in the area, what restaurants, do people go to, or is there a nurse, a more holistic esthetician, maybe some functional pediatrician. I wanted it to be a place that people can go to, and the magazine's on there, and they can sign up, and they once they sign up, they get a free monthly wellness healthy home newsletter with everything that's happening, and I email them the magazine, the magazine. They get my free magazine every month. So I love it. And then I also have the with that, I also have a digital magazine that when I'm in my Facebook groups, instead of just, doing a business card like everybody else does, I'm like, no, check out my online magazine.
Mhm.
I'm fancy,
Yeah.
like look at me. So you can kind of, have that, which I love, and it's got so much information on there. It's better than just a little business card because I've got a podcast on there. I've got everything on there, but it's kind of minimalized. It's not like my whole website. Sometimes I'll put my website out there, but I like the little online magazine. That's really handy.
Yes. Well, and I also like if you are branding yourself different, you have a story to share, or a story about a client of how you help them differently. I wouldn't like, maybe, you can come be on my website or my podcast or something, because we had you on on my
Yeah.
podcast. And
Hmm.
that's something that you can share that gives you credibility, that you've
Well,
you
that
know.
helped me. Holistic Homes by Christine and PJ Harlow had me on a November
Mhm.
webinar, and I was like, oh my gosh, they want me, you know.
Mhm.
So people will start asking you, to be on these things, and that's when, people start recognize you, and you'll get, oh my gosh, my cousin's moving to, do you service that area?
Mhm.
My old neighbor wants to move to your area. And so, it's just about getting out there and don't be scared of it, don't be scared. I say embrace your wellness and get out there and do it.
Well, you have a lot of momentum that's built up. So let's go back to before you've had the momentum and when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
were first kind of, you didn't have 13 million in sales.
Yeah.
What do you think was it that, tipped it for you and started really building more people coming to you organically or getting those referrals?
It was, and I think just when I actually branded myself, because I
Mhm.
didn't have a social media or website presence. I mean, everybody around here kind of knew, through word of mouth, well, Tori's more holistic, and she's in the mom group, or she does this, or she's done that, and she's been in nutrition before, she started her journey back in 2000. So, but it really took off. And, obviously when I started meeting people on Facebook, but when my branding took off, like when you see
Mhm.
my website, you see, the branding, the magazines. I mean, it just looks so good and professional, like we're special. We have a wellness, she has a wellness
Mhm.
magazine,
Mhm.
she's got her own. So I mean, it
Well,
just looks good,
I
right?
think so many agents just use their broker site,
Yeah.
or they might have a page that has some beautiful homes on it and just shows their listings. But I do think, where people go to Instagram to kind of find out who you authentically
Yeah.
are. Now they are going back to the website to kind of, it's
Mhm.
more than just your business card. It's like, who are you? What are you
Right.
saying? And so you
Mhm.
have like 3 seconds or, to kind of say, what is it that you do? And so
Right.
holistic real estate, I think it's just intriguing. People don't know what
Mhm.
that is.
Right. Yeah.
What
And
is
then
that?
and it could be mean different things. I've got a lot of people that want to do the feng shui, and they're really into the energy of the house, and that is amazing. And they are so
Mm-hmm.
good at what they do. And I say that is amazing. Could do,
Mm-hmm.
do that. And you gotta, where's your passion? Where's your heart? And what do you want? What do you want to do? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be more of a consultant? Are some people in real estate would rather be a referral agent, and they want to consult, right? They want to collect people and try to match them with an agent that might work for them. Or so the beautiful thing about being in this, it's sky's the limit. You can do as much or as less as you want to do. And yeah, I mean, I just think that it's just got to find your own branding and what you really want to do and go for it.
I love that. So do you
Hmm.
feel like there was a mindset shift that happened during that time too?
Right.
Like what boosted
29,
your confidence? Like how did
yeah,
you feel like I can do this?
yeah, 2019, I kind of just started getting so many sick people and so much. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of was like, you know what? I was kind of, at first afraid on how people were going to take me if I called a holistic realtor, because
Mm-hmm.
people look at you side-eyed and like, what's that? And I still get that a lot, and it's okay. And I'm just like, look, I'm in building biology or whatever. I care about the environment and the health and wellness of the home. So I do feel like in 2019, when I wanted to start building, and I didn't know what I was doing, I
Mm-hmm.
half built a website back then. It was horrible. Like, I had this guy from somewhere. I don't even know where he was from building. It was a disaster. He didn't do anything. He just went online and try to search people and try to, create mine. I was like, oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. So when I found somebody that was really good at what she did, I'm like, this is what I want. And she's like, okay, let me do that for you. And so is it cheap? No. Branding is never cheap, but I feel like the branding that I've done has elevated me to this, right?
Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know what Tori's website is, I'll put it in the chat. Let's see. How can I do this?
And I
Um,
say, and that's fine if you want to use your brokers and you're happy with that and it works for you and you don't have, extra money, then do that. But if you ever were to leave your broker, this is what I've always heard is be careful about your email and the websites if you are using them, because if you did switch brokers, I think that, you would lose all of that. So if you want to,
Well, but I mean, there's Wix, there's so many
Mhm.
things that you could just start.
Yeah,
You don't have to go and hire somebody, but if you just
right.
had, and I really feel like the messaging is so important because
Yeah,
you can have a beautiful website, and if you don't have the
yeah,
message there,
right.
then so really think about what it is that makes you different and what is the
Yeah,
message that you want to say, and don't make it long, make it short.
right.
But
Yeah,
um
right.
Okay, so I guess the last question I have for you is if there's one thing you want to leave with people who are thinking of maybe marketing themselves as a wellness focused agent or integrative agent or holistic agent or whatever they want to call themselves, what advice would you give them?
I would say do it. I would say if you really have this passion and you really want to do it and slowly start, getting your tools together. You don't have to go out on every showing and have everything. At least just, start small, have a flashlight, start branding yourself, get a good logo, and just really start getting out there in the community, create, getting the Facebook or social media, or some people are not good at social media or want to be on social media, and that's fine. You can do other things, local events, get involved in church, get involved at your children's schools, get involved in, local chapters or, and if you don't live a wellness or a holistic lifestyle, start learning about it. Get yourself and get your family cleaned up, get the toxins out, clean up your home so you can say, hey, I honestly live this lifestyle and I can help you because I've done it myself.
I love that.
Mhm.
Okay, and then one more question, and maybe it's not really a question, but I wanted to share with everybody the uh the book, the seller's guide
Yes.
that you have. So let me find that.
Yep.
Um, shoot, I don't have it up here. So keep talking for a second. Let me find it.
Okay. Yeah. And did anybody have questions or anything? I can't remember if did everybody get to?
Yeah, let's take like 3 to 5 questions in the
Okay.
beginning, and then I want to share also an opportunity for you guys to be able to, get more one-on-one time with Tori. So
Yeah.
let's take 3 to 5, and then we'll share what we have to share, and then we'll do more at the end. So does anyone have a question? You can go ahead and
Jennifer.
unmute yourself.
I have a question. So here in North Alabama, we don't have a great selection on mold specialists.
Yeah.
It's a disaster here. We don't have any mold specialists that will do ERMI testing.
Mhm.
There is one in Birmingham, but they're affiliated with the remediation process,
Mhm.
which is their bread and butter. And I hate using like a mold
Yeah.
specialist that, also remediates the mold. So, what would be your
Yeah.
suggestion?
Okay. So you don't have any IEPs in Birmingham or Alabama at all. Nobody's an I think
No
somebody
one does ERMI testing except for Pure Maintenance of Alabama over in Birmingham, and
you
that's it.
don't.
And they do the mitigation also. And so no one does ERMIs around here. They'll do a swab. They'll be like about $1,000 to do an air sample, visual inspection, and 2 swabs.
Okay.
No ERMI or anything like that. So
Well, I think somebody
I
might.
have something to say about that actually.
Yeah.
Um, Jason Earl is the founder of gotmold.com, and he was in the industry for the past 20 years, and he had a dog, a mold dog and whatever. But he created a mold test kit for anybody around, that can buy one. I think it's a couple $100.
Yeah.
It tests the outside air and the inside air so that you'll know what the elevated mold spores are, not just, it's called gotmold.com. So that's something that you could have, and then you would at least have the test that's not from someone who remediates, and then
Right.
you could go
And you
from
can
there.
go to Envirobonics or we can put that in there in the chat too, or let me see how to spell it and say it. You can buy my clients will buy their own. The companies aren't doing it. My clients are buying their own and they're responsible for it. Like, you know, they have it. If they want to do it, then, they'll do it because companies will charge too much. But if somebody wants that, it's not an end all be all though. But if they want to know what their scores are, prior to moving in and maybe doing some of that. But yeah, they can buy their own. So there's that. But I don't know. I mean,
Does
that's
anyone
rough.
else have a question?
I do. I don't know how many of you are also like still ill from being in mold. I still have a lot of reactions. So I mean, I can walk into a house and within seconds I know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm the same as all of you guys. I live in Austin. We have mold. It's rampant in all of our homes. So, I mean, I can take some clients around and we'll go in 20 properties and find maybe one that we think is worth irming, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still really sensitive and I have trouble keeping up energetically with this career because of that, because I just still haven't fully recovered all the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's my
That's
question. And
hard.
you guys that struggle that way, like, have you found partners in your town that you work with, or, what do you guys do to kind of mitigate exposures? I mean, for me, it's really the only way I can work in this industry. I don't know if I can work with normal clients that well because
Yeah.
I would need to be exposed way more than I am already. We're already picking special houses to go see as it is.
Yeah. That's got to be the hard part right there of you still being sick and you can't go into you can't show every home. And like you said, energy and everything. So that is a struggle. That really is. So yeah, Misty, any tips? No, I know. I think you're muted, Misty. Yep.
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 Let's see. You can ask her to unmute, us to unmute.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're still on mute.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Hey, just keep your detox up. I mean, you're gonna have to get lots of fresh air. And I don't know how far, I would consider myself about 90% recovered. Like, what would you think that your percentage would be?
I mean, I go up and down. I would still say about 60%.
Right.
I still do hyperbaric almost every day, or I have an ozone machine. I did that almost every day for a year.
Right.
We had another house that went bad on us over the last 5 years. So I've only been in a clean environment again for a year and a half. So yeah, it's just kind of up and down. And then budget wise, like how much we can spend on mine versus my kids and all the things. And I mean, you know how it is when you're the mom and you're like trying to keep up with everything. You just take
Yeah.
one for the team.
Yeah. Right. How much business do you do? Like, are you showing houses single day?
I mean, yeah, I've ended up getting really pretty busy to where I do need to work almost every single day. And I'm thankful for the work. But yeah, it's been a struggle to keep up. So I've recently changed brokers to where hopefully I'm getting a little bit more support from that end instead of doing just literally everything myself.
What about a showing agent? Could you train or maybe have somebody help out? I wonder, maybe have another licensed new agent show some homes or something.
Oh, I'm thinking referral. Like, this is like a huge referral opportunity. Like,
it's true. I need to network with more of the agents in my
Yeah.
area and see which ones I can really vet out and trust to
Yeah.
take care of people the way I would want them to be taken care of. And yeah, I think I need to do more of that this year. I did get my husband to get his license recently, so he can help me out. Like if I'm just having a super, super low energy day and I cannot drive the hour to get there and the hour to get back and do the things, like he'll be able to help me out some. But that's
Good.
too. So yeah, I think just continuing to find more partners around will be good.
Awesome. Good.
I love Shawami too. I see someone posted that. I love Shawami.
Hi, Jessica.
Hey, Tori.
Jessica is here. Good.
Oh, I put some questions in the chat. I didn't want to.
Okay, let's see. If you have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. So the first one I have is, are there any healthy home certifications? Because when I do research, there really isn't anything out there. There's one for builders, but I'm not really a builder.
Yeah, not necessarily. I like building biology, I feel like that's kind of the standard and it's pretty expensive, So, and I know that there are there's another one that somebody had mentioned. I thought it was a few $100s. I'll see if I can find it today and let me post it in our network group, our Facebook group. Um, Somebody else had posted some sort of a certification. I haven't looked into it, but let me do that because it might be something
Well,
that you can
yeah,
do. Yeah.
because there's like the Fitwell ambassador and there's Well,
Yeah.
or Dwell or something. There's
Well, yep.
also Kelly Well, and I
Yes.
don't know, I gotta,
And
maybe we can make a
Cheryl,
list.
the architect Cheryl does a training course too. So
Mhm.
she's like
Okay.
yeah, she's a building biology like architect. So she's got some sort of a training. So there's stuff out there for all of us to kind of, dive into. We don't have to all do the same thing. We can all do different things and or not do anything. You don't have to necessarily do it.
So
Well, that
great
leads,
question Daniel had. Our community, I don't know where you guys are at, but mine's all about certifications. The next question I have is the magazine. I see Daniel has some concerns. Is there a way to see the past year's magazines? And then can we take out an article if we don't like it in the magazine? No? Okay.
no, you can't take an article out. You
No.
can make requests for certain articles and I can try to, or if you have an issue with one of the articles, I'd love to know what that is so that I don't
Yeah.
continue to
Yeah.
you know,
You don't want to keep using them if they're
yeah, I
not
don't want to keep
good.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So Sheila, I'm happy to have a conversation with you about it if you like. I used
okay,
to own a
yeah.
magazine and then my coach told
Oh,
me to shut it down when COVID came.
okay.
So, and people loved it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to talk with
Yeah.
you.
Jessica,
Yeah.
send
Y'all
me an
can
email and we'll connect. That's
I'll
great.
give you my cell phone number here. As soon as we're done, you can call me.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so then before we take more questions, I want to just share what we have and well, I want to share this ultimate selling guide that Tori uses. And then let's see. Can everybody see it? So is this what you use to get, I've made it so that it's like a template that you can put your own name, but she has,
Yeah.
I took it from hers. So
Yes.
basically, tell me how important this is in getting listings and I'll kind of just go through it.
Yes,
Talks
so
about,
I will get these and you can like talk to Sheila too and she can get these printed up for you, but you can print these up and give them when you go to your listing, when you go to a seller, what's going to make you stand out. And yes, you can slide all the comps in there and everything that you offer, but this is a customized kind of a healthy home selling guide. Maybe the sellers don't care about it, but they'll know and they might say, "Hey, I want you to help me buy the house." So you might can pick up both. And we all know, that would be great commission on both sell side and buy side. But it will help you pick up the listing. And, I just think these tools have really helped me. Do this. I like it. I like to explain how it all goes down. It looks good. It matches my branding colors. Um, and it's just a great tool to have to give to your sellers that makes you stand out. You're giving them a little book about
yeah.
about you instead of, a couple
And
of
what to expect too,
yeah.
because I think that there's a lot of, unless someone has bought and sold homes lots of times, but normally what's the typical every 5 to 10 years
Yeah.
someone switch. So you kind of even forget,
Yeah.
how did it
Right.
go?
Exactly. And
So
the good thing, this is in Canva and you guys can change or move or whatever. I mean, you don't have to, you can change different things, but it's really nice.
yeah. So basically, let's see, what do I have? So we're so excited because Tori and I got together and we're like, well, how can we help? Because she's getting so many agents reaching out to her about how to be a holistic realtor. So we thought, let's put together a holistic realtor success program. And we want to build a course, but right now it would be coaching sessions where, twice a month we'd get together on live group calls where you ask your questions, we go through and Tori can help you kind of work on your messaging or work on whatever it is that you need to work on so that you can have some confidence to get out there and present yourself as a wellness agent or a holistic agent. And then we made this ultimate home selling guide a template so that you'd get the full template. So we're thinking what you'd get is live coaching, exclusive tools, and a proven framework to confidently market yourself as a wellness-focused agent. So you'll get the live group coaching with Tori twice a month for at least 3 months, but if it's taking us longer to build the course, then it would go on from there. And then you'd get the Ultimate Home Selling Guide template. You'd get lifetime access to the course. So when we build the course, you automatically have it. We're planning on maybe that's something we can sell for about $500. So you'd get that with this. And then also there's going to be exclusive bonuses where you can have a 30-day free trial to my magazine membership. That's $75 a month. And then also I want to share with you this community website I'm so excited about.
Oh,
You can
this
have
is so
$100
cool.
credit towards that if it's something that you want. So Hometown Heroes is what it is. And it's basically a community website that's going to have organic SEO search because people are searching for this community and you will be the host of it. So here's a little, I don't know if you can see this, but it's going to have a messaging about, well, let me just show you actually real
Yeah.
quick.
It's
So this
really
is
cool.
the website, and it would have pictures of your town, it would have stories, it would have our favorite, like you could put trails in there or restaurants or attractions or whatever, neighborhoods that are not easily found on the web. And then local heroes are the business people or the people in your town that you're celebrating. You're the host, talks about you. Here's more stories about the faces of your town. You can have stats about your town. You can have sponsors. You can have it so that people nominate people and it goes to an email for you. And then become a community insider is basically them joining your email list. You get a profile page that talks about you and how you're different, links to your broker site or to your website. We can put stats in here and have differentiators about you, but this is basically just all about you. And what's really cool is like, here's the neighborhoods. I put in 3 dummy ones, but you just fill out forms and then it auto populates to a beautiful page on your website. So you can have little couple pictures of your town, what residents love about it, kind of some information about it. And then at the bottom, oh, here's me again, and then same with the local here. What's really cool is the hero stories. You're going to be meeting local community members and you're already networking with them. You're already wanting to celebrate what they do. You can just send them a URL that has a, like an interview on it, and then they fill it out and it turns into a beautiful page on your website. So meet Maria, here's a little bio, here's some questions about her. She's going to be so excited that you gave her free press that she's going to then share that with everybody. Thank you for nominating me to be on Hometown Heroes for your, I'm so excited and honored about this, read this. And so then you're going to have organic, people coming to your website, learning about your community, and you're the host of it. So that's what's coming. And so if you want to go to, let's see, hometownheroes.io. I'm still got to put up a little video on there, but it's about 90% done. So you can check out the demo site on there and look at it. But yeah, isn't that cool? I've gotten a lot of great feedback. I'm super excited about it just because I feel like, you can build this beautiful website, but who's going to find it? Nobody's really searching for, Sheila Alston. So you gotta find ways to connect, and you're already networking. So and everybody loves free press. So anyways, that's that. So, and then by the end of the program, especially once we build this whole course, you're going to confidently be able to market yourself as a wellness focused realtor. You're going to be attracting your ideal clients. You're going to position yourself as the go-to expert in your market, standing out from traditional agents with a unique and compelling value proposition. You'll be able to speak with clarity and authority about wellness real estate, and you can feel fully aligned with your business. So all of this is about, we tried to pack in so much value for it. And we're saying that it's about $16.75 for all of what you'll get. But we want to just charge $199. And that's basically, you'll immediately get the Ultimate Home Selling Guide. And we think that that's, the home selling guide is worth the $199, but you'll be getting all of this other stuff instead. And if you do it today or tomorrow and you use the special code HRS launch, you'll get another $50 off.
And
So,
and also too, you wanted to mention, aren't they going to be on your pod? Like you're going to have some
oh
people.
yeah, and they could, if you are branding yourself different, you have a story to share, you could be on my podcast. And I know that Tori said that that really helped her with some credibility, being able to share, I've been on this podcast, and I give you social shares and links, and you can even embed it on your website, and and I can give you like our logo. So I know if you go to Tori's website, she's like as seen in, we got to update yours because
Yeah,
I've
I
changed
know.
my logos, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that is, oops. So if you want to take a picture of this, or I can actually put, I will put it, I'll send you an email, or I'll put it in the chat with the link so that you can go look at this if
And
you're
then I can
interested.
post it in the group too. I can put it in the group with everybody. Yeah. So they
So
can,
And then
is
we can take more questions and answers.
yeah.
so if you could go back to, and I see Dee has actually take care of Dee's question first. She has a good one.
Okay. Dee, do you want to just unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, that's fine. How long are the group coaching sessions? And you said they were individual or group?
It's going to be group, and I'm thinking that it'll probably be, 90 minutes. And, depending on how many people are in the group, if it's a large, we'll figure out how to do that best. But we really feel like in order to build a course that's really valuable for people, we love the idea of having coaching sessions to be able to answer your questions and kind of build this course around what is happening in your business. Tori, do you have anything to say about
No,
that?
that's good. I mean, and we can talk about whatever. We can get it as in depth we want, and we can, just talk about, like scenarios that you guys struggle with, and we can talk through it and what would be the best way for you. Because I know Jessica had mentioned about her broker and some certain things with certifications or whatever, so we can talk through all that.
Can you go back to the slide on everything of the offer? Because I don't see it
Yes.
anymore.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's see.
That's okay, because that's where I have some questions. Because it said
Yes.
30-day access, valued at $75. So what is the Wellness RA Pro,
Oh,
and how much
okay.
is it after the 30 days?
So let's go to my website.
Hmm.
If you go to, oops, I didn't type it in. Healthy Home Media is my website. And basically we have a digital magazine membership that gives you the actual flip book that you could embed on your website, and a mobile friendly version basically that has all of your contact information up front. It gives you the ability to have like a featured article that you can put in there, and it could stay the same or it could be something that's different every month. You just let me know. And then at the bottom, there's also links that could go to your website. It could be a testimonial or an offer that you have. But basically that's $50 a month. And then for $25 more, I create a whole bunch of social media that is not, like you can join Agent Crate or whatever and get your social media templates, but mine all have wellness real estate language, like what is a holistic realtor or what is a wellness focused realtor, and why do you want to hire somebody that's wellness focused? And so all of the messaging that I have is about that, and it's all in Canva templates. So you can go in and adjust it to your liking, but at least it's a starting point to help you have to know what to say, right? And so what I found in I've been doing this 3 or 4 years, and when I first started, I didn't really even have the messaging right, but I've talked to so many agents now that really it's not about being the health coach. It's about being the realtor expert who has expanded knowledge and network. So you're not just networking with transactional business related people. You're expanding your network, like Tori said, to, who is providing the best water filtration, who does best, how do I get better indoor air quality that's beyond just changing filters, right? And then, what about ERV or HRV machines? Those are ventilating machines. Like if someone wants that, who do I contact about that? Of course, mold. But what about feng shui? What if somebody's interested in feng shui? Oh, I've got the best feng shui person for you. Or color psychology, or an eco designer. If someone is sensitive to things, they shouldn't just be buying China furniture that's sprayed with formaldehyde. So knowing that and having the Green Building Design Center, you know, knowing about that, where if someone's doing a remodel and you can say, hey, go to this website, check out the low VOC carpeting or, you know, no VOC flooring options, because I don't want your child who has asthma rolling all over the carpet and getting off gassed with VOCs.
And there could be a surprise guest in one of our coaching
Oh,
sessions.
really? Okay.
Oh, could be.
And so that's $25 more, so it's $75 a month. And then if you are just really a busy agent and you hate doing your own social media and you just want to do the minimum with your local content, we can customize all the stuff that we create for you and brand it to you with your hashtags and everything and auto post it for you.
And it's on my Instagram. If anybody wants to, if you want to put in Instagram, holistic home expert, Sheila's been doing mine for years because I cannot do I don't have time for all this. I'm in
Well,
the
you do still put your, I mean, it's
I
important to
do.
not just do my
Yeah.
stuff. Like you got to do some of the local
Yeah.
things and have, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of added so that then you
Yes.
are posting every day and you've got kind of a more well-rounded
Yeah.
campaign. And I have reels and video talking prompts too, so it's not just still graphics. We create like 4 new reel campaigns every month, and it's kind of created this library now where you can go in and I have like video talking prompts, so you can, and I teach you how to just put yourself in the front of the reel so your face is there. So yeah. Any other questions?
Hey, I had a question. Can you all hear me? This is Stephanie. Thank
Hi,
you guys so
Stephanie.
much. Hi, for doing this. I'm definitely in on the group and I'm excited to just connect more with like-minded realtors and learn from y'all more. The question I had, Tori, I've seen you market on Facebook about like your healthy homes that you're selling, and I had ideas as well, like of because I launched as a wellness realtor about a year ago, and I actually found Sheila first, and I've been using the magazine, so that's been part of my branding, and so I've been really busy with buyers just the past year, but with it, from selling, I was thinking about coming up with like a certain list, and I don't know if this is what you do when you sell and list a healthy home. Are there certain things like when you're calling it a healthy home publicly, like if I post on social media, like, hey guys, I have a healthy home for sale in Heritage Lakes,
right?
And you know that standard, like what is that? Do you have a standard? So when someone says, well, what does that mean, and how do you know? And like, there's no legal issues, right? Like I just want to, my broker's awesome, but he's also like, when I had a mold inspection done on my first deal as a wellness realtor, it like went haywire for no reason. There's like elevated levels of cladosporium, which is not even that bad in the attic.
Right.
And that was it. The rest of the home was fine, but it blew up the deal. And so I got like really burned from that. And I was just like, what the heck? Mold is so tricky. And my broker was like, what the heck? What are you doing? Like, I understand the wellness thing, but like, what are you doing? Like, this is.
Yeah, but you did your client a favor though, because you found something that could potentially, so you have to stick to your guns on that and be like, you know what? Yeah, it blew up, but guess what? They found something that could potentially cause them sickness.
Yeah, and the tricky thing with that, this mold person wouldn't speak to me. She would only talk to the sellers.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was, yeah. I mean, this is my first time. Like, I was all excited about her, but when we got into do the deal, it was like, wait, what? Because there should have been some conversation. So then when I talked to my buyer, it felt like I was trying to talk her into something when I wasn't. It was just like being able to look, because mold is going to show up on usually it's going to always show up, but there's bad mold, and then there's mold that's just normal because mold's always going to show up.
Yeah.
So it's like the little bit showed up in the attic, it was elevated levels, and it was the one that it wasn't black mold, but we weren't even able to talk about it without like it feeling like, it just got weird. So anyways, that's why I think this is good conversations, and I'm not like a mold inspector, like, but so I had a question about just when you're listing a home, that's an idea I had. Like if I'm going to list your home, here's certain things that we're going to do to get your home ready so that we're going to market it as healthy.
Right. And that's just kind of, and because, some people will do things and not do things. So I didn't really necessarily have a checklist because some people, like, I'll ask them and say, did you do a radon test when you bought the house? If they're like, yeah, our radon level was 2, then you can say, okay, check that off. And then we say remove all the plugins, remove all the chemicals, let's put them in the garage.
Okay.
And then you can say, did you ever use, some people are very crunchy and they're like, yeah, we use VOC free paint. You can say, oh, the home has VOC free paint. The home has had, air purifiers. They've got maybe air doctors in the house. They haven't had any past, water leaks. Maybe they have a tankless hot water heater, or, you can just try to, encourage, I mean, because you're not going to go, and sellers are not going to go in and put in whole house water filtration systems and all of that, yeah, I think you just got to do the best you can, because you don't want to also not get any listings because you're coming in, blazing guns, asking for all this, and they're going to look at you like, who she thinks she is? I'll get Sally down the road and she doesn't care about my house. So there's such a fine line. But if you want to, offer it as healthy, like I'll just, you know, I just play around with it, and just kind of feel, have you had a mold inspection? Yeah, we've had a mold inspection. Everything's good. I'll say, okay, well, that's good. What did
Okay.
you have? And I'll just kind of use some of those things as a healthy home because they've done more than everybody else.
Okay,
Well,
got it.
and
So that
I feel like you could just do a one pager
Yeah.
that is that explains what a healthy home is. And so
Yeah.
then you list the features and amenities and
Yeah.
testing, but you're not, you can put a little tiny disclaimer at the bottom that you're not claiming that this is,
Yeah.
ask ChatGPT to help you write a disclaimer. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just to say that you're not certifying that it's a
Right.
healthy home and they'll never get sick in their home, but you are
Yeah.
just featuring, because there could just be other elements that are features of the home, like maybe they have a infrared sauna or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or,
Maybe
you
a
can
new
just list them.
HVAC, new
Mhm.
HVAC,
Mhm.
and I had one the other day, they had an April air down there, a dehumidifier system. So I was like, wow, that's a huge win because that's
Mhm.
good. So try to, you can say healthy home, you can kind of, say it's a healthy home, and you can kind of use some highlights from the house because not every house is going to have every feature.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Thanks.
For that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you go back to that slide again? I think I have one more question. I
Yes,
had two questions
yes,
on that slide.
yes.
Okay. What is this lifetime access to the course we will build with your direct feedback? What course are we
So
building?
we're going to be building basically a holistic realtor blueprint that is like how to be a holistic realtor. Tori's been getting so many questions about that we were like, let's build a course, but we haven't built it yet. So we're hoping that if we can get some of you guys to kind of build it, like ask us the questions that you have, and we're building the course as we go. So once it's done, you will get lifetime access to the course without having to buy it because you're part of this program. Does that make
And
sense?
and I've got a
Yeah.
couple of people that I'm thinking about doing some pop-ins that
Mhm.
would be very useful for us, and we could ask them questions as
Mhm.
well. So I've got a couple, maybe a mold expert that I have and know, and maybe we can have her in for some questions, and we can have, that part of our coaching session too. We can ask.
Right, right. That's a good idea. Like we could have your green queen person that talks
Yeah,
about and like the pest, like having a healthy pet thing. And if you
yes,
don't have that service around you, what can you
right.
do?
Yeah,
Kind of a thing. But we
yeah,
can bring in experts. We
yeah,
can kind of build it, whatever questions you guys have, like we'll
right.
kind of cater it to you guys.
Yeah.
One question I had that I haven't asked yet, but you kind of touched on a little bit, and you might want to think about when you're building the course
Mhm.
is that liability factor, where's the line? And it may vary from state to state to a degree. So I don't know if you can really like totally legally answer those questions for everyone,
Mhm.
but um, what type of disclaimers should we use? Should we use disclaimers with our buyers and our sellers, as well as, if we're claiming that a house is a healthy home? I mean, I feel like I want to have some type of disclaimer,
Mhm.
especially when we're referring other professionals in our area, like mold inspectors and whatnot. I did take it was called the Texas Risk Reduction Specialist, a set of courses this fall. And that was one thing that a lot of the brokers advised against doing was offering specific recommendations of professionals to use. Now, I'm not following along with their suggestion so much. It's broadened my awareness of maybe liability issues, and I'm more careful to really point out to my clients up front, like, hey, I'm welcome. I'm happy to pass these names on to you. I let them know if I have or have not used them personally before. And then I also say, and I cannot take liability for their work.
Right.
I don't know if I need to be like a little bit more formal about that process or what.
I'm surprised that they're saying that though, because you recommend loan officers all the time. You recommend, you know what I mean? Like you are recommending the title company, you're recommending the people, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of your job as an agent, in my
Exactly.
opinion. Like,
Yeah,
right. So
and you
I
can
would,
always, to cover yourself, you can even maybe put it in your email tagline somewhere to when you email somebody, it's already there so nobody can come after you. You can say, hey, well, it's in my email tagline,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
yeah,
So,
I think it's all about like how you are setting expectations, right? Like you could even say, of course we're trying to get you the healthiest home possible, but
right,
I can't guarantee that forever,
right.
but we're going to
Yeah,
connect you with the right resources and people, and we're going to shine a spotlight on everything that, we are aware of, me as a real estate professional, so
yeah,
that you can make the best decision possible, so that, because I'm not guaranteeing you anything other than
yeah.
connecting you with people and helping you
Yeah.
find the information.
We could do infrared cameras. We can have two mold inspections. We can have an ERMI. We can have, everything. And then you never know, somebody could, something could be somewhere that we can't find in a wall. I mean, there's nothing's perfect, but I always tell people, you're at least going to get the tools and you're going to get, you've done more than what you would have done, and you would catch something. So do have a right to terminate or negotiate for some money. Because we have a really good mold guy, Kenny Gray, out here that works with an ENT that does mold surgery on the sinuses, and he recommends him. He's hard to reach, but boy, he's good when he gets in there and gets to the house. Like he gets his stuff done. And it's just, it's no guarantee, but you just gotta, do the best you can. But definitely if you're gonna get in trouble, because Georgia's different than like you're in Texas, so y'all must be stricter that, than what we are.
I do think
I
though
mean, I
that,
think there's
oh
just a
yeah,
lot more people coming in from out of state. And so I think there's a few more instances of, you know,
Yeah.
people suing, and so they were all brokers, and I think they were just on heightened awareness of that possibility, and not really even from this topic at all,
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
I agree. It's ironic we're talking about this because I am supposed to have a meeting with my attorney. I have a friend who referred to CPA and now he's in trouble with the government. And the attorney briefly told me that we need to draft a document. It doesn't matter if it's a mortgage loan pro, who it is, because I guess there's a mortgage loan pro where I live. They're getting indicted right now for fraud.
Mhm.
How would we know? So we
Yeah.
should have something that does state. And where I'm at, I have to be really careful where I even talk about mold. All I can say is you should talk to a mold expert. I'm not supposed to talk anything further about it. So I know every state, yeah,
What if you're certified though, Jessica? Let's say you become a certified mold inspector. Can you then talk about it?
absolutely.
Okay. Well, then there you go, girl. Let's go get your mold certification.
Oh,
Well,
I,
and if you got a mold certification, you still would want
Of
to
course.
then vet out the
Right.
mold expert who's going to do the mold. Like you wouldn't do the mold
Yeah.
testing even if you're a mold expert. You would
Right.
still
Right.
hire somebody.
But at least you
But
could talk about it and have conversations, because I feel like not even being able to talk to a family about it. And I mean,
mhm.
that's kind of, I mean, that's hard. You want to hear what they're saying. And there's so many different mold companies with different ways of doing stuff too. They could have been burned by different people, and you want to hear what they have to say.
Well, it just goes to show too that you want to be making business connections, but maybe not referring every business person you meet.
Right.
Like you're going to want to vet some of them too, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
the people you are referring really are, in your opinion, the best. But
Yeah. I've got a
um,
lot of old people I would not even recommend. Like they'll ask me about,
mhm,
like, I wouldn't. I'd look, I say, what I say is go look at the reviews.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You
Maybe
guys,
that can be your disclaimer when you're referring people. Is just, I found them to be really great, but go check out the reviews so you can decide yourself.
Well, it
There you
has to
go.
be verbiage. And again, talk to an attorney. It has to be verbiage of, I'm not liable for
Mhm,
any connections.
Yeah.
mhm.
Because anybody could just go buy reviews. I don't, but people do all the
Oh,
That's
time. So
true. That is true too. You got to be careful with everything nowadays.
mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah, this was really
Great.
helpful. A lot to think about. Sheila, I sent you a Facebook friend request. I'd like to go and continue the conversation with you further.
Okay, yeah, great. I'm
And
gonna
I
put
love
in the,
Tori.
Mm-hmm.
oh, sorry. I'm gonna put in the group chat the link to that landing page so anybody
Oh, okay.
wants to see that.
And
Yeah.
I love Tori. Tori's amazing. We're always referring back and forth to each other all the
Yes,
time.
we are. We're like back and forth, back and forth.
I know. I feel grateful. We're both part of the top, 2%er club.
Yep.
So I feel grateful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, does
I
anyone
hope.
else have any other questions? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah.
What was the $50 off code? Because I don't
Oh,
see it
it's
on.
HR, uh, HRS
HRS launch.
launch. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. And I'll really try really hard. I got a mold specialist and I've got actually this building biologist. He's a guy that a lot of people know about. I'll ask him and see if he'd be willing to have us ask questions in some of our meetings and stuff. I love this. This is, how we can learn and grow and, get information because I'm also getting referrals. I actually from a building biologist from a different state referred somebody to me, some friends that live here in Atlanta, and I'm helping them currently right now find a home. And we found this amazing home we were under contract for, and my home inspector calls me after I had left. I'd already been at the home inspection and said, I just got down from the attic. Has the house caught on fire? I said, I don't think so. Let me call the listing agent. She goes, yeah, it burned down to the studs.
Oh,
And I'm like, so there was a fire department out there and water and everything. Oh yeah. I'm like, you didn't think to disclose the house had burned down?
wow.
So he found it, and so they were so grateful of the good inspection group, that we had because they would have bought a house that had already been burnt down, with
Wow.
tons of water issues, and they would have never known if it wasn't for us catching it. So,
So what did those people do to sell their house?
well, I was the buyer's agent and they
Yeah, yeah.
terminated. It's still on the market 4 months
Oh,
later, but they're not
right.
disclosing. There's nowhere in the disclosures that the house had burnt down. If you don't have a good home inspector, they would not have found it. But he dug through the insulation and he smelt burning. He was like, this is weird. So when he pulled the insulation down, it was all black. He was like, this is weird. I think the house had burnt down. And then that's our
Why
mind.
wouldn't they have knocked it down? That's crazy.
It's just it was crazy. I mean, you hear, crazy stuff every day, all day. So, but they were so
Mhm.
grateful they're like telling everybody, oh my gosh, Tori found the house had burnt down and we would have never known. That makes me
Well,
look good.
we were thinking too that we would have like a wellness real estate mastermind. And so if you're a part of our
Yeah,
success program, maybe we create a panel or
yeah,
something like that that could be part of the mastermind and you can
that'd be
speak to,
great.
yeah, whatever is you're doing or whatever. So when people come to the mastermind,
We
you can
would
be on the
love for
panel.
y'all to put where the questions are, write down some things that you would love to see. Like what some things what would you guys like to get out of it? Like out of a mastermind or a panel, professional panel. Like what's things are you struggling with that you would love to have expert advice on or something that is like more one-on-one
Mhm.
versus some of those masterminds I don't even join or with other real estate because you know so half the time they don't even sell real estate. They're selling a
Mhm.
coaching program. and it's like $8,000, or one of them was 20,000 the other day I saw. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? And I feel like it's not really, one-on-one. It's just kind of generic. I want this to be, very, what we're dealing with in and out, and more environmental and healthy, and just all of that.
I think something super helpful would be like in the field, as a wellness realtor, holistic realtor, because I'm actually doing the building biology certification right now. And then I'm going to go into the new build side because I have like a passion for healthy home construction.
Right.
So that will be after, but first I'm going to do the building bio. I just love that. But you know how they have like the 25 principles? So I feel like
Yes.
even for people like holistic realtors that don't do building biology, that's fine. But I feel like what their principles are so great. I think in the mastermind, if we're able to basically say, as holistic realtors, when we're taking out buyers, we're going to talk about air quality.
Yes.
And here's the tools that we use, and here's what we recommend.
Yep.
And there's all different price points. And then we go into water, because I feel like mold gets so much focus.
It does. Yeah.
You got it. Some people, you just, whatever, you can't push so far depending on your broker, but the water and the air, and there's so many other things, the EMF, I feel like if we break that down and we say, we know so as realtors, we know exactly what we're doing. And if we have certain hot buttons, it's like, ooh, EMF, this is what we're doing.
Right. Yeah. I love that.
Yes,
I love that. And that's so important, because that's how we stand out, right? We're going to have this knowledge where somebody else doesn't. Because I had a girl call me. She said, I fired the buyer's agent that I was working with because she kept showing me all these homes and I was asking questions. So I terminated it. Will you work with me? And I'm like, well, I just closed the deal. I got time for one more, because of, like you said, of having all of this. And it's so important to have. And I love that. I think that's a very good, like you said, that's a good checklist to have.
I think that's a great idea. It also makes it so that if we were to create something like that, we could even have our own, that you become, like, we certify you as a holistic realtor based on, whatever, so that you can say you're a certified holistic realtor and these are the tools you use, right?
Really, there really should be a minimum standard, I think.
Yeah. And when someone buys a home, I think when we have closings and things, I'd be so nice to have like a one sheet or something where we say, listen, any home that we buy and we find for you that we get closed, we are able to help. Like, I can help. Here's some of the things once you get your home. Here's a water filtration system, and like have it all linked.
Yes.
Or get the air doctor, get the molecule. But then I also know there's certain things on the HVAC that you can put on there, that cost more money, but like dehumidifier, like what are the things that we're going to basically say, I'm going to give you a list. You can create that home into a healthy home. And then 2 years later, if you want to sell it, I'll sell it, I'll list it for you,
So I have that. I'll get with Alex, because whenever anybody closes with me, it's a welcome home newsletter, and it goes through all of that. It's, are you going to paint? Make sure you use the VOC free paint. And I give them a checklist of things, like you said, local non-toxic pest control companies. I give it's a welcome home, and it is exactly that. So I'll see if I can share that with you guys. But I love that. I think I think we all should be doing that. So everybody gets a custom email when they close. Congratulations. Now if you want to do this or this, here's some things to the home you can make it to create a more healthier environment for you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I can turn that into a one sheet also if you send that.
Yeah, I'll get Alex to send it over. She does my website and helps me with my emails and everything.
Oh, one last thing about your website, girl. Would she be able to, do you refer her? I'm in a different market. Would I be able to just hire? I already have a website, but I just need it to be updated because it was from my wellness, my oil background. So I need it to be real estate.
Go down to the bottom, and her credibility as Alex down there. And I think you can go right down to her and you can hire her. Alex is great. Yeah.
Okay.
She'll hook you up, and she can customize it however you want it. She's so good. Yeah.
Okay. So that's on your website.
Yep. Go to the very bottom and you'll see Alex Edwards.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And then she can also create, like she did for me, like the welcome, when you close, you just put their email in there and then they get the congratulations on your healthy home. Here's some things you can incorporate, and then you can send them the links to air doctors. When I personally, though, when I close, you get a healthy home basket. And I know it's over $1,000, but I like to give it. You do get an air doctor with me. You get a whole kit of the Branch Basics new cleaning supplies with all the bottles. You'll get a usually a diffuser and some essential oils. Depending if somebody's allergies, I won't do it. Everybody gets water sensors. I just go to Amazon and there's some water sensors, like you can put like a little alarms that can go off if you have a water leak. They
Okay.
get that, and they just get it just depends. Like I'll, give them different things for healthy home. Some months, like if they have kids, I'll give them some homemade elderberry syrup. Um, sometimes somebody might want a sourdough starter. Sometimes they might want, so depending on what they want, they might want, maybe some cookware or whatever. Maybe they want some I'm trying to get them, into more, get rid of the plastic. It's a whole healthy home environment. It's not, just that. It's trying to eliminate all the chemicals and all of, the bad air quality that we have in our homes.
Or the cutting boards that are like the
Wood, yes,
steel.
try to go with wood, get rid of all the plastic.
Yeah.
Yep. All of that kind of stuff. And everybody's different, like I try to fill the family out. It's not my baskets. I'll try to post one of my healthy home baskets later, and you guys can kind of see what I like to give.
Yeah, that's good content, for your social media is kind of
Yeah.
what you bring to, that little thing you bring on your showings. I mean, do
Yeah.
you literally like just bring that in every single time, or do you
I
just
have
bring
like a
in the flash?
little tote bag that says Holistic Realtor, and I walk up in there, and I'm sure they're seeing me on the little Ring doorbell. Here's that crazy lady with all her stuff.
That's so funny. And when do you whip out the infrared? Like, what would cause you
As
to
I
do
walk
that?
in the door, I said, "Y'all walk around, look at the floor plan. I'm gonna go get busy doing some stuff around
Yeah.
here." And they're like, "Okay." And then we'll kind of meet back up in a few minutes and we'll talk about it.
And the
Yeah.
infrared shows you moisture. Is that what it's showing
Yeah,
you?
it'll show like moisture. It'll it shows a lot. It shows different stuff. Of course, you can show where there's like maybe a void in the ceiling that might need insulation.
Mm,
You can also see like the gray or whatever. There could be some moisture in the wall.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And
Um,
Daniel's a pro at that. I don't know if he's on here anymore, but I wish he could talk about that. He's the pro.
That's awesome.
So
That
I
was
do
Okay.
have
Oh yeah, go
I
ahead. Any more
I
questions?
do have two doctors who are wanting to talk to me about creating some sort of training for real estate agents out there.
Hmm.
Um, so there's two different doctors who want to have a conversation with me about it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I think that might be really good to have something back up by doctors instead of the liability on us, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Maybe we
that's
can have
just,
them on a group
Yeah.
call if you connect us with them, right? We can ask them questions.
Yeah. For sure.
yeah, that's something to go ahead and
Yeah.
consider. But okay, well, this was a lot of great information.
Oh, I loved it. I know it went over a little bit, but yeah, appreciate you guys, and we'll stay in touch, and then we'll just, we'll all be in the group. And I'm pretty picky. I know I've got a bunch of people that were wanting to get into the group. I've got to talk to them first. There's like 20 people, and just by glancing at some of their, their social media and stuff, there's so many, I don't want people in the group just to get referrals. I mean, we've got to there's so many there's a million referral groups. This is a special group that we can really have these hard conversations because we all get it and we're all struggling. So I'm going to keep it to people that are very, that are wanting to learn. They can come in here. But I want to make sure everybody's vetted before I go and send out a referral to somebody that, you are more wellness minded and you are going to take care of these clients that we're going to, send over for a referral, that you're going to, love and care for them and care about their concerns.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. Did we get everyone's questions answered?
Yes, and so nice to meet so many other agents.
Thank you so
Like-minded.
much.
Me too. Thank you guys. It was awesome. We'll hopefully see everybody else in a couple weeks and we'll get some more questions together and connect up.
Okay, and
Okay.
you're sending an email out, right?
I'll send an email out. I'll send an email with these links and also the Google Sheet and the information again. So if you didn't take a picture of that, you'll still have it. So I'll do that today.
I
Okay,
like the
thank you
Google
so
Sheet.
much.
Yeah, because I posted the other day, I'm looking for a Pennsylvania realtor to give a referral to. So y'all keep an eye on all that because every day I'm posting because I'm looking for
wow.
people. And so try to get on there and scroll through because you might be able to pick up a referral from us.
Okay, thank you so much. And I will certainly check out the email once it comes. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Good to see you guys.
Bye. Good to see you.